Good morning, guys. Welcome to Thermomix Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and I promised you that I would come live today to show you Leanne's grandma's Impossible Pie. That it was Monday or Tuesday that went a bit pear-shaped because I forgot the milk completely. Thankfully, the kids still thought it was amazing and ate it, probably because it has so much sugar that they don't normally get in their food. But anyway, we're going to do a take two because I can't wait to see the final product where it does that separation of the mixture once it's cooked into something that's like a crust and then the kind of a custardy center. So I'm excited to give that a go today and actually get the right product from this recipe instead of having a typo that makes a big difference. Do say hi if you're watching on today. I know normally I don't come live on a Saturday, so you're probably not expecting me. But you'll find me here Monday to Friday doing some cooking. And today I've actually started off with some more crackers from last night. So I've repeated those. They're amazing. I've got a halloumi on the way. If you're not sure about making cheese in your Thermomix, go to my website, tmxingadventures.com.au, and check out my course on cheese making. So I've just got some herbed halloumi that's half done, and I'm finishing that off and doing the cooking process today. If you've ever wondered how easy halloumi, feta, creme fraiche can be, check it out. So let's get started on this today. So start cooking straight away. You'll see it's presented a little differently because this is a recipe I have typed into Cookidoo 3.0 where I've actually taken Leanne's grandma's recipe from 1980 something and put it into Thermomix ways. So it just means there's no measuring cups, no spatulas, no teaspoons, those sorts of things. We're using the Thermomix to do all the weighing. I did have to Google some of the things, like the milk, for example, it said 2 cups of milk. So obviously, it's 250 grams per cup, so I knew it was 500. But there's things like the flour, the coconut that I actually had to Google to find the answers. But you'll see it's presented a little differently because it's that one that it has been written by me rather than putting it on there on its own. So first things first is 4 eggs, super easy, in it goes. Then we've got next, and we've got 125 grams of butter. Now you'll see there's no scales that come up. Hey Yvonne, lovely to have you on. How are you? I love that the captions come up and they're a bit peculiar. I'm so sorry. Okay, 125 grams of butter. So you push that and you can see your scales pop up. So I can just now place in my butter until it matches. Now, great thing about cooking with a Thermomix and baking particularly is you don't need to have things room temperature. You know, I remember traditionally cooking with my nana and having to have things warmed, you know, to cream the butter and sugar. And we don't have to with a Thermomix. It can come straight out of the fridge, which is fantastic. So let's close that off and go to the next step. Next up, we've got 200 grams of sugar. Now I do cringe at the quantity of sugar in here. However, I've already stuffed this up once this recipe, skipping the milk. I'm gonna follow it to a T, okay? I'm not gonna have another stuffed up recipe. Now, if I didn't want to push the underlined ingredient, I can actually pull the scales up and you'll see it does the same thing. So in goes 200 grams. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of sugar. They'll be getting little portions, and thankfully they can run it off today. There's lots of things they're doing outside in the yard today. We have some new family members. I just put that all over the back of the Thermomix. So it's going to be a fun day for them. So next up we've got, okay, you'll see here I've actually put 2 ingredients on the one page. This is because I didn't have the milk on there initially. And so rather than adding a new step and rearranging the steps, I just put them both on there. So when I click on the 65 grams of plain flour, you'll see here, see how it's got both ingredients because they're within the one step. Doesn't really matter, your scales are there, you just have to actually remember to hit tare in between, which you'd be quite confident with anyway because of the removing of your lid on your Thermomix. Just make note as well, this creating recipes of your own is more helpful, in all honesty, for a TM6. If you've got a TM5, you're a bit limited. You cannot get these recipes over to your TM5. All right, I wish you could. I really wish you could because I love it. I love the ease it brings. What you can do if you've got a TM5 is you can actually still meal plan and shopping list with them. So you can still do your Woolworths online with your created ones. So that is what you can do, but where you're limited is getting them to guide it on your machine. So I wish I could change that. It is beyond my control. I hope one day they'll do it, okay? I always say never with the Germans because if you had said to us when guided recipes came out on our TM5 back in 2014, if you'd said to me then, you're going to be able to put your own recipes up one day, back then I'd say like, yeah, not at the moment. You know, you couldn't. But I don't know that I necessarily would have believed that we could by now. So I always say never say never. I'd love for it to happen for you guys. But at the moment, not possible to get it across, okay? So I'm just because I know some of you guys are going to ask, why can't I see it? So I thought I'd cover that. Hey, Annette, lovely to have you on today. What I am doing that changes the recipe is I am using GF flour. Hopefully that is still okay. So 65 grams. It's not much flour anyway, so I figure it should be fine. And then tear that off because it's now asking for the milk, which I'm not going to skip off today. Hooray, it's going to work. I can't wait. So 500 grams of milk, which is 2 cups. Now the only other ingredient left outstanding is actually the coconut, but it goes in after we mix this together. So we'll put this in. In it goes. 500 grams. Let's put our lid on. Yep, there goes the milk container lid. Next. Now you can see it's got 20 seconds speed 5 to bring it all together. While that's mixing speed 5, I'm going to grab a spatula. I've somehow managed to not get one up for this. All right. Okay, nearly done. Okay, that step's done. We close it off. Go next. And then we got our coconut. So I'll just show you what that looks like. It looks really liquidy. And that was actually one of the feedbacks last time. I think somebody said to me in the comments, I did wonder why yours looks so thick. It was lacking that 2 cups or 500 grams of milk. So as to whether you can make this dairy-free, I'm going to say probably not. If you went, so there's a lot of things you can just, there's substitutes for. However, the milk's not a problem. You could certainly put in almond milk, oat milk, whatever milk you preference in there. I don't think that part's a problem. The butter would be the part that would cause you a grief, I think. I don't think you could easily swap in coconut oil. That's often a swap that I will do when we're going completely dairy-free. You could possibly use something like Nutlex, but I've not actually had a play to know. So I'm no expert on that one. So this, but it is that traditional recipe that I guess used the basics of grandma's pantry. You know, when you think about it, it's the classic baking. It's the eggs, the sugar, the milk, the flour, you know, that classic stuff. So now we've got the last thing of the coconut, which is, I brought that up, 100 grams. In that goes, and I'm just using desiccated coconut. There was no real recommendation. It didn't particularly say in the beautiful handwritten script of the recipe. All right, there we go. And then we're going to finish up. So one more mix through. And then I did find my rose gold. Those of you who watched on the other day when I stuffed it up, I had an alternative pan. So I've actually found my rose gold. So I'm going to grab that out. I'm going to show you what this looks like, and then it goes in the oven. Okay, all right, lovely. All right, Sally, I can see your comment there that says, I think you're saying Nutlex works really well in the baking, which is awesome to know. I do love, though, that your spelling checks changed that to But Alex. Hello, Suzanne, how are you this morning? Okay, now this is very much like a milky product. Now, if I look at it, it's runny, like it's nearly smoothie-like or milkshake-like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put it, if I go next, it says to pour it into a greased pan and cook at 180 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes. So when that's done, it's going to be solid, okay? So it won't be wiggling and jiggling, and it'll be nice and brown on top. However, a little side note, if you do swap in dairy-free milk instead, you will find yours will not go a little bit brown because it's the dairy that actually browns. When you go for a nut milk, if I ever make Brazilian cheese puffs, for example, dairy-free, they just stay pale. They cook and it's solid, it's just that it's pale. So you'll notice that as well. So this is my rose gold tin. I'm hoping it doesn't ooze out too much from it, and it goes straight in. You can see that texture there. I think it was Kathy who said, yeah, it looked a bit thin. Hopefully that's right, Kathy. We'll soon find out in about an hour's time. Now I will share the photo at the end of this recipe and show you what it looks like as it comes out of the oven and as it cools and then is served as well. So that's it from me today, guys. Let me know if I can support you with anything with your Thermomix. There are still blacks available, okay? They are starting to run down. We thought they'd be gone this week, so there mustn't be much left. If you want to get a black on your bench with oval and a round black thermo server as well, reach out. I'd love to support you to get one and then make sure you get the very most out of it as well. We do have whites as well. They are coming this month with up until the 6th actually, with a free 2.6 litre thermo server. And also as well as that, we have coming to the host rewards the bowl blade and lid set, which is fantastic. If you don't want to buy a second Thermomix, you certainly want to have a second bowl with your Thermomix, okay? My ideal in my kitchen is actually 2 thermies, 3 bowls. That is a winning combination for me, feeding my tribe, because it just means I don't need anything else. So anyway, guys, that is the news from me. I am here though, so normally not far from my phone. So if you've got questions as you make recipes that you need support with, never throw anything out, just reach out. I'd love to help you get the most out of your Thermomix, certainly not throw anything away. By the way, on that note of throwing things away, there's a new book coming soon. I think I can tell you. I'll tell you anyway, and it's on no waste. So it's going to be super exciting to launch. I think it's in April sometime, and that's going to be new to Cookidoo. So those of you with Cookidoo, you'll get that the night before. But it's all about making sure we're putting, I guess, less waste into our environment and stuff. So that's going to be super exciting. I'm excited to see that book because I think we're evolving as a family into that space of being more self-sufficient and you know, less consumerism driven. Is that the word? I don't know. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that book so I can learn how to pickle and all those things that I guess our grandparents did, which is, I think, can sometimes have been lost along the way. So guys, take care. I'll stop talking now. Have a fantastic weekend and do reach out if I can help you or someone you know get a Thermomix on the bench or get more out of your Thermomix. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.